Here's an article. I don't know that I've ever read anything from TechCrunch.com, but damn it, I like this article. And it's realist newsworthy. Because one of those companies I talk about hasn't made a profit since ever. Yet it runs around like it does and everything's cool and it's on top of technology. That would be Tesla. And no, I'm not talking about Tesla, the 80s hair band. What was that song called? Love song? Any jammers? 80 jammers, rockers? Tesla? Let me just look. Tesla. Love song. Yes, that's a big time for back in the day, 80s, man. Hair bands, that old stuff. Anyways, TechCrunch has a great article. And this is one of those reasons why I just could never, no matter how crazy. I mean, I saw a little video on the side of my, I was looking at YouTube a minute ago, Cliff High, Bix Weird, JSM Mindset, Jim Sinclair, and all them had their little roundtable discussions, like 2 hours long. Haven't listened to it yet, but I plan on it here shortly. And this is Sunday, by the way. But how do you justify buying a car from a company that has not made a profit ever and is not looking like it's going to, especially as the competitors to its electric car model, or its electric car, in other words, one trick pony. They have a electric car, sure it can go 300 miles or so on a charge, and they've got the fast chargers and yada, yada, yada. But it's all they got. And now, Nissan, Toyota, Honda, I mean, even Chevy, there's several of them now. Hybrid to straight up electric vehicles. So now they're going to get more competition. How are they going to fare with that new competition coming when they had the ballpark to themselves, so to speak, for all this time and didn't even kind of come close to making a profit? But they did just release their new Roadster model that goes, ludicrous speed, to talk to you in Spaceballs, the movie speak. She's gone past light speed and went to ludicrous speed, or warp speed, whatever. Ludicrous speed. Anyways, $250,000 car. Now I know they have the Model 3, whatever, it's supposed to be around $35,000, etc. But again, this is just, from bad to worse. Not only that, all the CEOs, not CEOs, but executives and whatnot, jumping ship just recently, very recently from Tesla. Let's see what this article has to say, because I already know it's going to cover a couple of those things, because I started to read it, and that's when I told myself, yeah, email this to yourself, because this is newsworthy. Everybody loves Tesla, the company, but did you know that a whole lot of smart people hate Tesla, the business? From a return on investment capital standpoint, Tesla is a catastrophe. The electric car maker has been burning money at a clip of about $8,000 a minute, or $480,000 per hour. Tesla is losing a massive amount of money with no competition. Yet massive competition is coming. Jim Chanos summarized all the reasons why nicely. If you wouldn't be short a multi-billion-dollar loss-making enterprise in a cyclical business with a leveraged balance sheet, questionable accounting, cooking the books, every executive leaving, run by a CEO with a questionable relationship with the truth, what would you be short? It sort of ticks all the boxes. A lot of people think bankruptcy looms in Tesla's future. Of course, Tesla bears have been saying this for years, and they've consistently been wrong. But this time, are they right? Maybe. Maybe not. Either way, a far more interesting question if, like me, you have no financial interest in the business's success or failure is, does it matter? I'm entirely serious. We tend to assume that a company's purpose is to make money for its shareholders, or at least not go bankrupt, because money is how we measure success. And this is in fact true of most companies. But it is not true of Tesla. When a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. And this is as true of money as it is of any other measure. The purpose of Tesla is not to make money. It is to pioneer fleets of smart mass market electric cars and the infrastructure to support them, and battery technology, which is not limited to cars. Making money is ancillary. And whether or not they're making money, they are succeeding at their purpose. They are building the world's largest factory, in fact, the world's largest building. It's still under construction, but parts of it are already up and running. They all but own the luxury electric car market and are on course to dominate the mass market as well, while also manufacturing power packs. And look, I remember looking, solar panel and all this house, solar panel sitting in my garage, still not installed. Again, I have a hard time believing I want to put those up now. If my mom, psychic mom, says you're leaving in 2 years, and she ain't wrong. Won't be wrong. She has not been. I don't want to install all that stuff, but I thought, well, I'd like a battery backup system too, better than just the old golf cart battery thing. Oh, get a Tesla power pack. Well, I need 3 of them or so, 2 or 3 of them. And it was like, $20-something thousand. That's not even kind of feasible. And as a matter of fact, it's outright ridiculous. So, about those power packs. Anyways, I'm sure Elon Musk would like to do this while turning a sweet profit, which is, of course, also technically his fiduciary duty. But if he fails to do so, is that really so tragic? For those of us who aren't shareholders or bondholders, I mean. Don't you worry about Elon. He won't be missing any meals. Maybe it wasn't even possible to do so, in which case Mr. Musk will have used the capital markets to essentially subsidize Tesla with free money, and interestingly, open source the resulting patents, in which case, what, more powerful to him for managing to fund a loss-making investment in what is not so much a car company as it is infrastructure for our shared future. After all, even if Tesla stock does go to zero and its bonds default to pennies on the dollar, its factories and software repositories and human capital will all be there. And no Chapter 11 court or committee will be blind to the fact that they're worth far more as a coherent unit than they would be as separate assets. The analogy I like to draw is that of the Channel Tunnel, which was privately dug and built in a complete financial debacle for its investors. A wonderful thing from which we've all benefited, apart from the people who paid for it to be built, who lost substantially all their money. That quote may yet apply to Tesla. Does it sound unfair to stockholders and bondholders? Not at all. This is capitalism in action. You pays your money and you takes your chances. But if you're not a stockholder and not a bondholder, maybe don't worry so much about headlines screaming about Tesla's financial unviability. This time, for once, the rest of us win either way. So, twofold that I want to read this article to you. The beginning, as I said, this is that reason alone is why I could never buy a Tesla. I'm too scared that this company's going to go belly up at some point. Just because, again, it's burning through capital at an unprecedented speed, and it's going to have competition coming online with these other car manufacturers who have been around a long time. And if Tesla goes kaput, how are you going to get parts for your Teslas? How are you going to get brake pads? Maybe brake pads, but any parts that go wrong with the car, from body parts to mechanical parts. Even though there's, working on electric vehicles is a bit easier actually than automobiles with all the different components in those engines. But nonetheless, you still got to have the manufacturer around to produce parts somewhere. So that just terrifies me. I mean, I couldn't possibly buy something from a company that on paper financially is dead broke and should be bankrupt any day. And its top level brass have been leaving, especially in very, and I mean very recent times. But like this chap says at the end, they're going to be open sourcing stuff. So essentially, even if Tesla does go bye-bye and all their patents and everything are available online and open source, hey, guess what some of us folk could do? Start building our own, custom modified whatever electric cars using their technology, their patents, their open source code. It's going to be open, right? So that's kind of his point at the end. Hey, we win as a society, or not even society, just humanity in general wins. Like the example he gave with the Channel Tunnel. Didn't work out for the investors and the holders of the debt and the shareholders and whatnot, but boy, it worked out for everybody else. But that's not how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to make money. So while you applaud them on one side, hey, open source, great, which is great. The other side is, what about this company as an investment? And what's to stop them from going kaput? And then what about all the people who are sitting on riding around in their awesome Teslas who can't get any parts for it because the freaking company went under? Now, granted, you could argue, Joe, this thing should have been finished years ago. The company should have already filed some level of bankruptcy. And they haven't. And that's a good argument. And they just keep, raise some more capital, get some more capital from the investors. Someone seems to keep buying in on this. And I don't know who would be honestly so dumb. Who would be investing in this thing when it loses over and over and over? Yet, they've been able to produce quite a lot of money in capital from investments, one way or the other. And, and again, unless, these people know something you and I don't know, a little behind the scenes secret kind of a thing. Big money gets to hear the spiel behind private doors, closed doors. And, oh, yeah, the stocks could be terrible for this amount of time. This can happen. But guess what? We've got this deal with such and such company, government, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, maybe. But I don't think that's likely. There's a lot of people who invest in Tesla, and every single person would, be needing to know that. And they wouldn't tell you. Highly unlikely what I'm telling you. Anyways, like I said, still newsworthy. Take care.